Hello and welcome to another episode of Just Some Guy Earning Achievements, where I, just some guy, earn achievements. Today we continue our adventure with Vasili and the gang through the streets of Stalingrad as they must repair phone wires and disable panzer tanks. We begin the mission repairing the wire, and unfortunately turning it off and on won't fix the problem. Instead we have to navigate the streets and repair 6 phone wires, most likely broken by those Germans and their pesky grenades. The difficulty of this mission is significantly increased from the last one. Although fighting in a narrower terrain makes covering from enemies easier, it also makes it harder to avoid grenades. The strategy for this one is to inch your way forward step by step until you reach a new checkpoint. Easier said than done on veteran. Thankfully the answer to this is grenades. Smoke grenades to be precise. They allow you to get up close to the enemy undetected, which also triggers your comrades to move up and make it look like they actually want to win the war. Just make sure you watch out for any enemies which you may have run past and could shoot you in the back. After repairing the second wire, I had a bit of trouble navigating through the building and up the street. The Germans just kept shooting and blowing me up from this glory hole. Using 2 more smoke grenades, I finally managed to progress far enough for another checkpoint, which was lucky because one of my comrades moved up a little quicker than I expected and got me kicked out of the game. The Germans responded to my smoke grenade with their own smokeless version and killed me more times than I would like to admit. One lucky run later, and I was able to make it to the 3rd wire and earn another checkpoint. The 4th wire is upstairs in a bombed out building. I rushed in and was immediately shot, which must have caused Vasili some brain damage, as he seemed to forget how to shoot for just a moment. I guess the Germans must have watched Revenge of the Sith before coming to war today, as they realised the benefits of having the high ground and killed me multiple times. Thankfully this German took his notes from the stormtroopers, and didn't manage to kill me after I repaired the 4th wire, allowing me to earn another checkpoint. Although, the next checkpoint and wire were literally around the corner. Everything was going well on the way to the final wire, until a grenade forced me from my corner and I ran straight into enemy fire. It seems the Germans aren't a fan of campers, and I don't blame them, I would have done the same. The next run went much better, and we made it through the building and downstairs to repair the final wire. With all the phone wires repaired, we were able to contact our comrades and complete the mission, but some pesky panzers had just rolled into town, and as we were already in the neighbourhood, we were tasked with disabling them. Some Germans immediately burst through the door and hurled a grenade at me, so I tried the childhood tactic of not looking at it so it couldn't hurt me. It didn't work. I had some trouble getting through this part to the first tank. Unfortunately I'd used all my smoke grenades so had to brute force it, and I swear there were more grenades in this small section than the rest of the mission. In order to get close to the tank I would need to cross over the street into the neighbouring building and kill all the Germans. This wasn't too difficult, as they would split their focus between myself and my comrades, allowing me to sneak up on them. The hardest part is planting the bomb on the tank. It starts moving if you get too close to it, and the button prompt doesn't always register. On the first attempt I managed to plant the bomb as it was turning around, but got stuck on it and couldn't get out of the blast radius in time. The second attempt went much better, up until a German soldier butted in and butted me in the head with the butt of his rifle. Third time was the charm, and I was able to successfully plant the bomb and make it to cover. Something strange happened, and it took the tank a short amount of time to blow up. One of my comrades must have had enough of the war, and ran up to the tank to go out in a blaze of glory. I'm sure Bender would have appreciated the flip. The other 2 tanks are roaming the streets from the start of the mission where we repaired the first wire. They can be done in any order, so logically I went for the one closest. It fired at the wall in front of me, and for a split second I thought I had died and the game just didn't give me one of the quotes. It turns out I wasn't dead, so I got up and started running towards the tank, which proved futile, and this time I did die as confirmed by Bertrand Russell. For the second attempt I opted for the other tank, so popped a smoke down the street and ran towards it. This run went much better than the first, and I was able to get right up to it, but got a little too close and was run over. I'm not sure what was more impressive, the checkpoint I somehow got, or that Vasili was able to place the bomb after he died. Checkpoint in hand, I was able to successfully place the bomb without dying, but you can see I do have a bit of trouble planting it as the button prompt wasn't responding properly. With the final tank hiding out in the south side, I used my last smoke grenade to advance up the street and earn a checkpoint. The area is a square courtyard with enemies on all sides, so it is difficult to slowly advance as you will be quickly flanked by Germans and or grenades. My tactic for this one was to throw some grenades of my own and just run straight up to the tank. To my surprise, this worked, but just like with the second tank I had issues with the prompt to plant the bomb and took too long. Also like the second tank, I received a checkpoint right next to it, so this time I planted the bomb and ran straight for cover. With all the tanks disabled and the last of the Germans killed, our objective is complete. Sadly though, there is no time to rest as Dimitri tells us we are needed at the train yard. Sadder still, we aren't even awarded an achievement, as this mission is broken up into 2 parts, so the next achievement will have to wait. The second part of the mission is called the Pipeline, and we are required to retake the station house that is currently occupied by Germans, who were definitely the diesels of the war. We begin in the titular pipeline so we can stealthily navigate towards the station house. Sadly, the pipe, as well as my comrades, spring a leak, and Vasili is the only one to make it to the end, even though the Germans tried to flush me out with a grenade. I am rejoined with some more comrades on the other end, but more importantly with a PPSH, who will be the most useful comrade out of the lot. The first part of the mission requires you to infiltrate the station and kill all the Germans. With the help of a smoke grenade, we are easily able to make it there and earn a checkpoint for our efforts, but killing all the Germans proves to be trickier. It is unlikely you will receive another checkpoint until they are all dead, so you have to do this in one run. The ground floor isn't too hard as you can go in the side door and flank them while they are focusing on your comrades. Trying to get upstairs is what makes this a little difficult. There is an enemy halfway up hiding behind some crates, one at the top guarding his friend on the MG, and a handful scattered around the room hiding behind cover. It took me a few attempts, but with some patience and literally taking it step by step, I was able to kill them all and retake the station house. Before we are able to put up the No Germans Allowed sign, they initiate a counterattack. Although we have inherited the high ground, it is still quite easy to die here by standing in front of a window, not watching the stairs, or failing to notice a grenade thrown by a German with an arm that would put Tom Brady to shame. Death by death, we persevered until a tank rolled into town. Luckily for Vasili, he still had some sticky bombs from the last mission, so wouldn't have to give up his socks on this occasion. My first attempt was close until a comedy of errors from both myself and the Germans ended up with 4 of them dead and 1 of them bludgeoning me to death, allowing me to get a glimpse of his Goebbels. The tactic for this tank is the same as the last ones. Get up to it quickly, plant a bomb, and hightail it for cover. Sadly, just like the other tanks, I had issues with the button prompt again, and got killed by a German who was probably confused why I was just standing next to it. Perhaps this is what happened to my comrade in the last mission. With the tank destroyed and the remaining Germans cleared out of the nearby building, the last part of this mission tasked us with destroying 3 machine gun emplacements. Despite a few deaths, this wasn't too difficult. With some patience, a few well-placed shots, and the occasional grenade, we were able to destroy all emplacements and complete the mission, as well as earn our next achievement, Veteran of Stalingrad 42. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like and a comment if you see fit, and I hope you join me next time where Vasili and the gang's adventure comes to an end as we conclude the Russian campaign.